Hey, it's Colin from Jeeping.Net. Today I'm really happy to show you guys our new project vehicle. This is a 2005 Jeep Unlimited TJ, otherwise known as the LJ, Rubicon with a 6-speed. It took us a long time to come up with our next project vehicle, actually 2 years. We are still actually working on our '07 Grand Cherokee, building that more into an overland rig. Well, this will be a weekend warrior type rig. Lot to do on this vehicle long-term wise. It's got 280 kilometers or 170 miles, I think that converts to. So a lot of general maintenance, and I'll take you on a tour around the vehicle in a few minutes to show you what those are. And then the long-term wise, obviously, we'll be making this much more off-road capable, 35, 36-inch tires, and probably going with a low kind of profile on this rig. So it took us a long time to find this vehicle. We looked at a lot of different possibilities. We looked at a bunch of TJs. We looked at a few YJs. I actually think we're doing a YJ with a CJ front conversion clip. Still want to do that one of these days. Looked at a bunch of different things. This has been my dream vehicle since they came out in 2004. I've wanted one of these, and I really didn't think it was going to be possible to actually find one. So I was very excited. And ironically enough, 2 weeks before I purchased this one, I nearly bought one at a salvage auction down in Maine, in New Brunswick, Canada. The one I was going to buy had a really bad hit right here, and I just kind of sketched out the last second on the auction. Price was getting right to my threshold, and a guy in North Carolina seemed that he really wanted it. He was aggressively bidding against me, so I let it go. My friend had this vehicle, and he knew I lost the auction, contacted me and said, "Hey, I've got this. Why don't you come over and pick it up?" So I did, and that was supposed to be this video, but I had a horrible stomach flu and virus. Still have it, so that's why I'm drinking water here throughout. So sorry about that. But I just wanted to give you guys a summary of that video because it would have been actually pretty awesome. It would have been very roadkill-ish if I could have made it happen. But I got up here early in the morning, around 5 a.m., jumped up some slick roads, made it over to the Digby Ferry. We had one of the worst crossings of the year. In fact, they shut down the ferry after that for a day or two. Left me stranded over there. We drove on some okay but little sketchy roads. Picked up a U-Haul trailer, picked up the Jeep about 2 hours later. We had to winch it on the vehicle. I'll explain why in a few minutes. And then we drove back through some horrible weather. The Grand Cherokee did a very good job towing, I must say. It needs probably some bit of a brake upgrade if I want to do this more often, but it actually did a very superb job. The next morning had absolutely horrible weather, and luckily I didn't have too far to go to the ferry, but if I had to go any further, I would have had to wait. The roads were really bad, up to almost a foot of snow in some areas. Anyway, so this is the vehicle, and that's the story on how we got it. So what I want to do is I'm going to take you on a quick tour around it, show you the things we need to do maintenance-wise, give you a summary of the vehicle for those of you that don't know these LJs all that well, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what our long-term goals here are. So anyway, let's do a quick tour. Okay, so now let's take a look at what shape the vehicle is in. Remember, this is an older vehicle. It's got 280 kilometers on it, and our goal here is to return it back to stock as much as possible. The first thing I was concerned about was with rust, and it does have some rust, but not that bad. It has a typical fender rust here, which will be taken care of. It's got rust in the back. It does have a very bad window shield. This will have to be replaced. That's actually a big hole there. I didn't notice that when I bought it. But we will have to get a new window shield. It does have scrapes all over the body. It does need to be painted sometime down the road. These are not the doors that the vehicle originally had. There is a rust spot right here you need to take care of, and this will need to be rekeyed. Doors also don't properly close. They're not aligned correctly. So we'll be showing you how we fix that down the road here. Underneath the vehicle, it's actually very sound. And I know some of you guys in the southern states are going to say, what is he talking about? But this is actually in really good shape. The body mounts are all in superb shape. There's really not a lot to do here. So we will be cleaning it all up, putting a coating on it. But all in all, this vehicle is actually very rust-free as far as the frame so far. I'm sure I'll find some as I get into it. Coming around to the back of the vehicle, it's got the typical rust right here, which we'll clean up. The tailgate's cracked, which is very typical. So we'll be getting a new tailgate or doing something with that. The interior, one of the first things I always do when I buy one of these vehicles is strip the carpet. So we've done that, and I was very pleased to find no major rust in the back here. I think having a hard top has saved this vehicle from a lot of that rust. So we will be cleaning up, putting some sort of rust treatment on the floor, and probably doing some sort of a liner. But first we got to get the tailgate and that sort of stuff fixed to stop some of the leakage. Coming back around to the interior in the front, where we don't have a lot of rust in the back, we have a lot of rust on the floorboards. I've gone around with a screwdriver, and none of the rust is thick, so we will be treating that. We're grinding it down. We will replace metal as needed, but so far I haven't found any that I actually really need to do. This is ripped, as most vehicles are. It's been taken apart. I just have some parts on order for that. So the interior, as you can see, is kind of ripped apart. I'll explain when I go to the engine as to why that is. The seats are in okay condition. These are not the seats from the original vehicle. These are seats from a lower kilometer TJ. So we will be probably just putting covers on those in the long term. So let's come up with the engine. So the engine's where we're going to spend most of our time the next couple of weeks. One of the reasons I got a good deal on this vehicle, and one of the reasons we had to winch it onto the trailer, is it does not run. Originally, I was hoping it was going to be something simple. I spent some time tracking that down, and that's what the next video will be on. But it's not looking like it's something simple like a CPS sensor or something like that. So we will begin the vehicle running. That's goal number one before we do anything else to this vehicle. I know the engine does turn over. I can jump the relays to the starter, and the engine does spin. It's not catching though. There's probably some sort of computer problem actually with this vehicle is what I'm pinpointing to right now. The other thing we got to look at, there's no drips on the floor here other than power steering fluid. But there is a lot of oil all over the bottom of the engine. So I imagine it's got a bad rear main seal. But we'll look into that as we get into it. The oil pan does actually have a pretty big dent on it. So if we need to replace a rear main seal, it's not the end of the world. But anyway, that's the shape of the vehicle. I'm sure I'll find a lot more as I get into it. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good vehicle. I didn't pay a whole lot for this. Considering it's a LJ Rubicon 6-speed, I think that this is going to be a wonderful project and something very fun. The time frame is going to be a little extended here. I have 2 young kids. We're in actually a brand new house here. As you can see, the garage is only half actually even constructed. So we got a lot of other side projects on the go. But my goal is to actually have a video per week on this one and the Grand Cherokee. Sometimes there'll be something major, sometimes there'll be something minor, and we'll see how well that goes. I guess the goal is probably about 40 videos for this year. Anyway, thank you very much, and next time we talk, we'll be showing you what's going on with the engine, and then I'll have actually a follow-up video on this video, because this one's getting a little long, as to what is the long-term plans of this vehicle. Anyway, thank you very much, and have a good day. Make sure to, if any comments down below, make sure to ask them. And I'd like to actually get you guys feedback as to what you think I should do with this vehicle. What sort of modifications do you think you would like to see done to this? Remember, it does have the Dana 44, so I probably won't be doing anything axle-wise, other than probably re-gearing. But what do you guys think suspension-wise, armor-wise? If this was your vehicle, what would you do? Okay, thanks very much. Have a great day.